Just sitting out in the woods on a nice cool morning during squirrel season, and nothing like it. And I just absolutely love it. But I thought I'd take today to show you guys a new product we're coming out with. Should release this coming Friday, and it's a new isobutane pack stove that was designed specifically to fit the 1-quart bush pod, although it's a great stove to carry either way in a nice small compact package. So let's talk about that right now. All right, guys, so while we're waiting on daybreak to happen here and the sun to pop out a little bit and get these squirrels running, let's talk about this stove. So first of all, you get a black nylon case with the stove. It does have a belt loop on the back of it. I'm not sure how necessary that is, but if you wanted to carry it that way, you could. But it does fit the stove very, very nicely. It's got our logo on the front of it. All right, so the stove, I've got it hooked to a tank here, so I'll unscrew it off the tank. It is a 2-piece stove. Now, it's got extensions on it here, so that if you want to put a bigger pot on it, you can, or a skillet or something like that. Easy enough to do that. And the bottom simply screws out of it when you're done cooking, just like this. And the valve folds up and you get 2 small pieces like this that fit very nicely into this container, just like this. So you got a nice small package. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, you can get that stove on Amazon. You cannot get this stove on Amazon. You can get a stove like this on Amazon. However, this stove was specifically designed to fit inside the 1-quart bush pot. We had to have it shrunk down in diameter to fit that, okay? So this stove is not the same one that's on Amazon. If you buy the one off Amazon, it's not going to fit your bush pot, right? Enough said on that. MSRP of this stove kit itself is $17.99. $17.99, under 20 bucks for a good stove. All right, so this is one of the brand new stoves. I used a prototype for quite a while and just kind of kept it off to the side and cooked with it. It worked fantastic for 2, 3, 4 months while we were waiting on this to get developed and shipped to us. This is one of the brand new ones. It works fantastic. I have no complaints about it. It'll cook anything from a small bush pot up to an 8-inch skillet with no worries at all on top of that burner. Okay, so let's talk about the intent behind the stove. Obviously, this stuff is not ultralight. It's much lighter than a larger multi-fuel stove would be, and say a 2-quart bush pot or something like that. So we wanted to give you a stainless steel version that is much lighter for packing, hunting, things like that. I know myself, and I know that there's a lot of other hunters out there that hunt that like to have a cook system with them where they can at least make coffee, just add water foods, things like that. They like something that's heavy duty, that's not gonna fail them in the field, and this piece of gear is definitely it. This stove and this bush pot give you an all-inclusive cook set that you can put in a backpack very, very easily with a tank of fuel, and you're ready to go. And you can absolutely nest these two into one bag and have your entire cook system ready to go. So again, you know, this thing was designed to fit into the 1-quart bush pot. $17.99 is the price of the stove. Now, you can buy an adapter for this stove, just like the one we had with the multi-fuel stove, that will allow the stove to burn propane as well. So it will burn propane or isobutane. All you have to have is that small adapter for the bottom. I'm going to see about getting those on the website in the future as a sold separate item. But them things are available all over Amazon. So I suggest you go there if you want one because they're fairly cheap, probably 10 bucks or less for one of those things. And then you have a multiple fuel stove that you could use basically at a base camp if you were carrying 1 pound tanks of propane, or backpacking if you're carrying isobutane. I will tell you the way I store my kit is in one of these Dyneema bags that we saw on our website that are made for the bush pot. The 1 quart bush pot fits in there pretty nice. And it's just tall enough once you get the bush pot in there to put a small canister of isobutane in there as well. And cinch it up over the top. Stick that bad boy in your pack. You're ready to rock and roll. Listen, guys, I appreciate you joining me today out here in the woods for just a little review and talk through on this new Pathfinder pack stove. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, for our business, all our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. I'm getting back to the hunt.